Hi guys, it's me, Danielle Danny Buttons, and we have made it! Today is part 4 of our large and beautiful Disney Vitraux Little Mermaid page. We're gonna finish today, no matter how long it takes. I actually don't think it will take too long. Today, I'm actually going to put a timer counting up instead of down. I think that would be fun. I'm gonna start that in 1 second after we kind of go over what we're doing. First off, I realized I missed Flounder's other fin. So I'm going to do that first. Then we're going to do the hair and tail, and I don't really have a plan for these guys yet. So hopefully we will figure it out as we go. We are also going to be discussing my favorite Disney animated movies. Already need a sip of water. Not a good sign. It's okay. Let's just get started. Ready, go. Yes, okay, so for my favorite Disney animated movies, I actually very painstakingly made this list a month or two ago, and I haven't looked at it since. So I'm just going to assume that a month or two ago, Danielle was sure in her convictions on her favorite movies, and we're going to go with that, because every time I try to make a list like this, which is pretty frequently, it is very difficult. So I'm just going to hope for the best and believe in myself from 2-3 months ago. I'm going to start at number 20 and count our way up to number 1. And this does include Pixar movies, and it also includes one movie that is not officially Walt Disney Animated Studios, like big release, or Pixar, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So number 20. I also, like I said, I haven't looked at this list in a little bit, so I'm kind of surprised at what's going on here, because apparently number 20 is Meet the Robinsons. So that's interesting. Meet the Robinsons is a very underloved Disney movie that a lot of people also have not even seen. I think it came out in 2006, which was one of Disney's darker periods, where they kind of were known for having a few flops come out, like Home on the Range and Chicken Little. Again, if those are your favorites, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that they did not get the notoriety of some of these other movies. So I actually really enjoy Meet the Robinsons. I thought it was a lot of fun. There's a Jonas Brothers song involved in Meet the Robinsons. And I don't know, it was just a fun one, and apparently it made it all the way up to number 20. So what I actually did when I was making this list is I had also ranked the Pixar movies separately and then kind of integrated them within the list, and it was so hard because I was I would see a Pixar movie and be like, well, I like this less than this Disney movie, but I like it more than the other Pixar movie, so I guess it's stuck going here, you know what I mean? So it was a whole thing. It probably took me 3 to 4 days to do this. Like, I was very invested in this list, so that's why we're gonna have to just go with it. Also, if my head is in this picture, I'm gonna cry, but I think I'm far away enough. As you can probably see, I raised the camera a little bit more today to get more of the picture in since it's the last day. So hopefully my head is clear still. Again, I've stopped wearing my big high bun on filming days because my bun gets like 8 inches off my head and then I don't realize where it is. So she's just a wild thing. I'm realizing that's a little bit too pink, so I'm going to add some more reds and less pinks, but it's fine. Yeah, so Meet the Robinsons. I remember watching Meet the Robinsons my freshman year of college for the first time. I think it was out for a year or two already, with my friend Anthony, and he is like one of my big Disney friends in college. We used to have Disney sing-alongs, and I feel like that blew my mind, because we went to a tech school, and it was a predominantly male tech school. So it blew my mind that I found somebody else that was really into Disney at all at this tech school, and never mind would have sing-alongs with me. So I always appreciated him for that, and we are still good friends to this day. And if you listen to my last episode, he actually bought me that alien stuffed animal that I talked about. So that's something. But, yeah, that's Meet the Robinsons. I'm pretty sure we watched it on a snow day. So, unrelated, but... Number 19 is Wreck-It Ralph, the original. I thought that was such a fun and creative movie, and much better than the second one, to be honest. The second one was okay, but I just think, again, so much of these movies, the magic of them is the newness of the idea, that once you get into a sequel, the idea is not new anymore. So it's less entertaining overall. But the original was so fun, and it's fun, like, playing video games and, like, understanding a lot of the references. And, I don't know, I just really liked that one. It was a good one. I like Fix-It Felix. I don't know if the type of people had a name, but the little guys in Ralph's game, that, like, the little villagers that throw him off the roof. They're really funny. Like Glenn. So I really enjoy Wreck-It Ralph. And I think for this list, it's a pretty good mix of newer movies and older movies that you'll see as we keep going. Because, again, it's hard sometimes to rank the older movies as high just because, one, production value has gotten so much better from, like, 50, 60 years ago. And just, like, storytelling has changed. And, like, the expectations of... Like, I think that they make the characters... I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but, like, even if the story is taking place in the past, they still make the characters admirable by today's standards, if that makes any sense. Because, obviously, a lot of times little kids want to be like these characters, so they want them to feel modern still. I don't know. I understand what I'm saying. Hopefully you understand. But... So Wreck-It Ralph is a newer one, but I still enjoy it a lot, and I'm going to appreciate older ones on this list, is the very long-winded way of saying that. So let's get on to the next one, because number 18 is another one. See, that's what I'm saying. I always am like, oh, every single one of these is underappreciated. No, I don't know. Number 18 I have as Fantasia. Again, original Fantasia. Growing up, I loved Fantasia, and I still really enjoy it. I used to put the VHS on every night to go to sleep to. Like, the classic music always made me nice and sleepy, drifted off. And then I always, though, if I didn't get to sleep by Chernobog at the end, it was a problem because it would, like, re-wake me up because that terrified me. But I also was pretty afraid of the dinosaur scene. But it has, like, an awesome Mickey, classic Mickey in there with Sorcerer Mickey. I'm also going to do their tongues right now, sorry. Very distracted. Let me give them these nice red tongues, and I'm going to give her these pink lips. But, yes, I loved the classic music. I also did enjoy Fantasia 2000. When I saw that in theaters with my mom, and I'm pretty sure it was like us and two old couples in the theater, and that was it, because that was not the most popular release. But I also really enjoyed that. I really like the classical music. So that one didn't make it as high because it's not classic. Like, every scene in Fantasia, whenever I rewatch it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite scene. And then the next one will come on and be like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite scene. And I just like all the little cute characters and stuff. It's a great time. So that's another one that's not watched as much, though. If you have Disney Plus or access to Disney Plus, or if not, access to like a library, you should be watching like all of these movies, please. Thank you. You will not regret it. They're a good time. But yeah, Fantasia's really good to fall asleep to. if you need help with that. Number 17. I actually have the list today is on my computer in front of me, so I keep like looking up to trying to find my spot. Number 17 is one we talked about already, and it is Toy Story 3. So Toy Story 3 is my favorite of all the Toy Stories. I really love all the new characters in that installment. And obviously part of the magic is the nostalgia aspect that we got from watching the first two, but I just think 3 was a masterful story and had me crying up in the theaters. And apparently I can remember when I've seen all of these, but Toy Story 3, we actually went to theaters. I'm pretty sure it was opening day. If not opening day, definitely opening weekend. And Sam and I drove there from the beach. We had a beach day, and then we went to see it. And we met my friend, and then I'm pretty sure we were sunburned, and that was pretty unpleasant. And because we were sunburned, it was freezing in the theaters, because it's always cold in theaters anyway, but then going in like a swimsuit, we weren't in a swimsuit, but we were in summery clothes, and burnt made it so much colder. And then we actually got there early, which was good, but we had to wait in line for like over an hour for them to open the theater. And again, we were crying up in there. Also, I had to see that one in 3D. I hate 3D. I don't really understand. I feel like 3D hasn't even really changed very much or really gotten better in the past bit. So I'm not really sure why they still offer 3D movies. It's just more expensive, and then you're stuck wearing those glasses. So I do not enjoy 3D, but we had to see that one in 3D because that was what was available. Like, again, it was opening weekend, so I think things were selling out, and we just were there at that time, so we had to see it in 3D, but that's that one. We're 11 minutes in. That's cool. Again, I'm not really sure how long this little bit is going to take, but we're just going to go for it all because it's obviously not enough to do another part. So if we get to the end of her hair and body and it's been like an hour already somehow, then I probably will just speed color the little blobs, but so far, not worrying about that yet. So today I'm actually filming. It is the 26th, which means part 3 is going live in about half an hour. And then this will be live in 2 days on the 28th. So I'm trying to stick ahead of the game. But these ones have been hard to film since they're so long. As I was saying, I'm not sure if people are enjoying this. It's probably because not everyone's a Disney fan. But I'm enjoying coloring it. I'm really happy to get another page done in here. I actually have another work in progress that I should definitely work on soon. But for that one, I have so much background to do that I just kind of got discouraged. And I have a lot of blending to do. In fact, let's see. If it's on the correct side of the page, I'll just show you. I have no idea where it is. Let's oh yeah. It's Princess Ada from Bug's Life. So as you can see, probably I have a ton of shading left, or blending left to do, and then a lot of background going on. So this one still has some work left to be done, but I really like these pages. Are so beautiful. They're just so big, guys. They're huge. They're so huge. So they're really a time commitment. And again, for this month, my goal was kind of color as much as I can. So yeah, I don't know. I went a little bit crazy. But then next month, we're going to dial it back a little bit, probably. I don't know how to feel about the seasons changing. I'm excited for cooler weather overall, but I hate the dark and I don't want it to get dark earlier. And like, I'm kind of excited for I'm worried that a lot of the things I'm excited for fall about, I don't know if that sentence made sense, are things that we won't be able to do this year due to like the pandemic and trying to be safe. So I'm worried. Why are there lines coming up? Do you see that? Hold on. I don't know. I don't see anything. Interesting. Hopefully that blends out. But yeah, all the things I normally look forward to doing in fall are all pretty questionable whether or not we'll get to do them. So I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to fall. So we'll see. But like, as I've been saying, I usually do pretty intense birthday parties, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. I really want to do a murder mystery Christmas party. Not sure if I'll be able to do that. So we will see what happens. I am looking forward to being able to walk more with little Miss Noodles. So that will happen no matter how the pandemic goes, because we can just have our masks on and stay away from people. But yes. Friday is actually my father-in-law's birthday, and we're playing some online Jackbox games again, which now it's a little bit late, but if you've gotten this far and not played any Jackbox games, you're missing out. Jackbox is basically a game in the past. So it's a game that you put on a screen. So we usually put on the television if we're all in person together. And then each person plays on their own device. So if it's like trivia, the question will be on the big TV, and then everyone uses their own phones as like the controller. And there's a whole bunch of different games, and it's a lot of fun because like everyone can just play on their own phone. You can just join and drop whenever, so it's really good at parties. But it has also been like a lifesaver on getting together during these times, because you can like stream it on all like Discord, whatever. I don't really know what I'm doing, but Sam knows. Or on Zoom, you can share your screen, and then everyone can play from their own homes. So that's what we've been doing. And then we did that for Sam's birthday, and we're gonna do it for Phil's birthday. And it's a lot of fun because we really enjoyed those games in person. So being able to play them online is a bonus. I'm not sure if her hair is still too pink. I think I did a lot of pink in this little taily bit, so I'm gonna even cut down on the pink even more, maybe. Maybe I'm gonna do like 2 strands of pink and then go from there. I think you all know by now that I'm not really a big fan of the color red. So I'm hoping that's not why I'm making all these pink decisions, but who knows. All right, back to the ranking. Number 16, apparently I have chosen Frozen. So as I was saying, I do really like Frozen. It had a lot of songs come out of it that surprised me, because first time I saw it, I was expecting none of those songs to make sense out of context. Let me lower my speaker volume. Sorry, forgot to do that before. Yeah, when I heard, like, Do You Want to Build a Snowman in theaters, I was like, how in the heck are they going to sing this without the movie on? Like, it doesn't make any sense by itself. But nope, it went off, and people really enjoy all those songs. Let It Go was like a phenomenon. So I really enjoy, like a lot of others, that the princesses didn't need no man to save themselves at the end, and that their love saved each other, essentially. And again, Frozen 2, nowhere to be found on this list today, but Frozen 1 was a very cute and unique story. And I enjoyed it a lot. So, saw that in theaters too. Day after Thanksgiving. After that, I went to Barnes & Noble. I also remember going to Barnes & Noble every time I go, apparently. No. But yeah, there's not much to say about that because I feel like I talked about that a lot in the princess episode. And yesterday in the character, or I guess today, which would be 2 days ago for you. That's confusing. In the character list with my guy Olaf. Number 15. There are a lot of this era of movies on here, which is my childhood, which is the Renaissance, which is Aladdin. So, Aladdin is all the way down at 15, which I know for a lot of people similarly aged is blasphemy. But that's where I put it. That's what we're dealing with. I like Aladdin. Don't get me wrong. I definitely like Aladdin. But a lot of the times when I'm watching Aladdin, once we hit a whole new world, I turn it off. So, Genie's wonderful. I always enjoy that the voice of Aladdin is Steve from Full House, and I guess now Fuller House. Because I don't think I knew that growing up, and then it like blows my mind every time now. Not every time, but when I did learn that. So, again, mentioning when we saw Aladdin on Broadway, the Jafar was supposed to be the original voice actor for Jafar, and he like was off that day, and that was so sad. I can't believe it. I don't know if I told this story, but I'm still upset about it. I feel like every time I go to a Broadway show for a specific actor, they're always off. Which, rude, but, you know, I suppose they need days off too. So, yay, Aladdin. Next up, we're just going to keep rolling along, is number 14, which is Coco. I was like, oh, it's our first Pixar movie, but it's not because Toy Story 3 was Pixar also. Coco. Saw this in theaters. I already told the story how they had the Frozen Christmas special before it, and everyone was confused because it was like half an hour long, and we were all like, did we come to the wrong movie? The last few movies I feel like I saw didn't have shorts in front of them, and that was surprising. So I hope they continue to put shorts in front of them. That's like one of my favorite parts of seeing it in theaters. But Coco is on my list for movies I would like to watch this fall. Really this Halloween season, which is, I consider September, October, because I have too much to do for 1 month. And I might actually make a video. Let me know. I'm thinking of making like almost, I don't want to call it a bucket list, but like a list of books I want to color in, and movies I want to watch, and like almost specific images I want to color, because I feel like holiday books or Halloween books are obvious, but then so many books will have like 1 or 2 Halloween-y pages. So let me know if you want to see me do a video on that. I will probably be bullet journaling it, and I think that could be interesting to pick out specifics. So, this is a longer piece than I thought it was. But yeah, I'm going to make that list pretty soon. I don't think I'll make it live on camera. I think I'd more likely write it down and then kind of go through my choices. But I still think that could be fun because, again, normally in the fall, I will make a fall bucket list, and it'll have things like apple pick and go on a hayride and go to the corn maze. But since all of those things are pretty up in the air, I'm going to make it a coloring bucket list instead, and I'm excited for that. I still might put some of the old things because I like to put like bake a pie and make homemade soup. So that might still all go on there. So let me know if you're interested in my seasonal bucket list. There I am with the air quotes, and this time I have both hands. I've just been like holding one hand on my chair arm instead. Don't know why. So a lot of these pieces are so big. I don't want this much pink. That little bit can be pink. And that's probably it for pink. Yeah, I just think that would be fun, and I think it'd be fun to kind of like go through my books that are not specifically Halloween and show you what pages in case you have them too and forgot. Because again, I personally, when I'm picking coloring books, I love ones that have all different seasonal and holidays represented. So I feel like I probably have a bunch like that. And then when it comes down to that day though, I don't remember. So I'm gonna do that. That might be one of my videos next week. I think that would be fun. So look at us go. We're making good progress. About to be done with this hair, and then we just have the tail and the little blurbies. So I don't know what to do for the circles, because should I just do them purple like the rest of the border? I'm thinking what I might do is purple for the outer circles, and then like Flounder's blue for behind it, and then like the dark peach of her skin for the things themselves. And I don't really love that, but I don't know how to balance that area with anything in the picture. I don't know. I was gonna do a lot of Flounder blue, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense because he's so small. I don't know. I do not know. We will see. I really don't know what these like scratch marks are either, so it doesn't bother me too much. Basically, finishing these pages in any capacity is such a accomplishment that how good they turn out isn't always top priority or whatever. As long as I try my hardest, which I definitely am. All of this blending, ugh. So, now I'm sure that I could have potentially used some Gamsol on this too. But again, for this book in particular, it's so fancy, so hard to get, that I just decided to go old school and take that pain and not risk anything happening to the book, even though that's silly. So I'm gonna throw these back in the case for now. I always put the pencils upside down if I'm using them on a project and have to put them away. But I also wrote them all down on a Post-it. So now let's get on to her tail. So for this, I'm using this same lighter green and then a much darker green because her tail overall is darker. Like the main body of her tail, I guess you could call it. I'm still going to shade pretty lightly, I think, because I am. So let's see what happens. I might do a tiny section and then blend right away to make sure we're on the right path. So let's do that, and then we can get on to our next number. I might have to be going a lot quicker. So let's do our next number right now. Number 13 is another Renaissance movie, and it is Beauty and the Beast. So I do love Beauty and the Beast. I also was scared of this as a kid, I think. Like when he goes into his room and trashes everything is a scary time. I love Angela Lansbury though, Mrs. Potts. I love Chip. I love that library. I wish I had that library. Don't we all? Probably not all of us, but as a reader, all readers definitely do. So, yeah, I think this is going to be good, that shading. I might even do the olivey green a little bit darker. So, is this the olivey green? Yeah. Yeah, not much to say about Beauty and the Beast. It is a classic of the time, of all time. Great, great music. So, it has ranked number 13. So, hooray for that. Number 12 is one of the few, I think, that are on here that are not a musical. I tend to really love Disney music. But number 12 is 101 Dalmatians. So for whatever reason, I remember like this being the first movie I saw in theaters, but that doesn't make sense because it came out in like the 60s. So I don't know if maybe they like brought it back. Sometimes they do that even now, that they'll have like one weekend only, come see the movies in theaters again. So maybe it was something like that, but I could also be wrong, you know. I do remember 101 Dalmatians was like the sheets that I had. I feel like every kid in the 90s had Disney sheets of some sort, and my Disney sheets were 101 Dalmatians. So I remember that. And I just like, this is another one that I've watched more recently, and even recently being like the past 5-10 years, not like this week, and realized it's a lot better than I remembered it. So that's how that got up here to number 12. Okay, number 11 is Big Hero 6, which if you listened to the video on my favorite characters, you will have heard that Baymax is number 1, but the movie still is only down here at number 11 because Baymax is the best part. So I do like the movie. I like the TV show even more than the movie. I don't know if I saw this one. I might not have seen in theaters because, again, it didn't really look that appealing to me. But I love Baymax just that much. I love he gets covered in tape. I love that he his battery's dying and he goes, "Hurry, baby." I love ba-la-la-ing. This is so sad when Hero's brother dies. Like, are you kidding me? So, great movie. But still number 11. Number 10 is one that I talked about, I think yesterday too, when I was talking about Halloween costumes. It is The Emperor's New Groove. This one is so good. I feel like it's kind of getting a revival now of popularity, but it's another one that I think is underrated. Believe it or not. I say that about a lot of them, I know. But I really enjoy this one. I love Yzma. I think that David Spade did a great job as Cusco. Who doesn't love Patrick Warburton? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Warburton. As Kronk. It's great. It's a great time. Yeah, I've seen some like fun TikToks about possible ride choice or ideas for Emperor's New Groove rides, and they're really funny, and I wish that would happen. So I think that this was also kind of like, this movie came out during a slump for Disney, and that's why people don't always remember it. But I really like that one. And again, if you haven't seen that one, you definitely need to be watching that movie. So put that on your list, please. Number 9, I'm not going to talk about too much either because we did a lot the other day, is Up from Pixar. I was going to, like, Up is the movie. It's not from anything. But Up is great. So don't worry, Shayna. Up is great. I think Up is great. But it's very sad. There's no music, though. That's a negative. I don't think there should be music. Doesn't really make sense. But just compared to a lot of my other favorites, there's no music. So, again, thinking of being Kevin for Halloween. Makes no sense, but maybe it'll happen. We'll see. I will keep you informed. Actually, really like looking at my list going forward and really surprised at the order of some of these things. Because number 8 on this list, like, this is a lot lower than I was expecting. To the point where I might... No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna read what I wrote. Number 8 on this list right now is apparently The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So that is the original Winnie the Pooh from, I think, 1977. And it's so... I love it so much. I am constantly singing the little songs from this movie. Like, so often, I just, anytime it rains, I'm like, the rain, rain, rain falls down, down, down. I don't even know all the words. Heffalumps and Woozles. You kidding me? Terrifying. That would scare me so much. And I just love it. I love his like little exercise song in the beginning. I am short, fat, and proud of that. It's so good. I love Winnie the Pooh. He's so cute. So, no surprise that Winnie the Pooh's on this list, but it's a surprise that he's all the way down to number 8. Who knew? Next up, first of all, we're doing really good. We're at 34 minutes, and we're almost done with this. So, I'm like, not sure if I need to rush or go slow. I don't know, because I have all these little loopy-doos to do. But number 7 is also a surprise to myself, because I forgot that I put her here, is apparently Moana. I'm not that surprised, because I really love Moana. Like, the music in Moana is top-notch. It's so funny. I even like Hey Hey, and Hey Hey is a bird character, and I don't really like birds or characters that are birds very often, so he was another character that I was expecting to just be like annoying, but then was actually really funny. So that's always great when that happens. So yes, Moana. I remember seeing this in theaters, and the shiny song when they were like saying that their heinies were shiny, and we're like, oh my goodness, they said heiny, and it like was the funniest thing. I enjoyed that. Also, the short in front of this one, the lava, I lava you, my goodness, so cute. I don't know if you saw it in my room tour, but Sam drew the little volcano, and it says I lava you, and he like made the smoke coming out of the volcano in a little heart, and it's super, super cute. So I enjoy that. All right, let me pick my colors for a moment. This was going nice and fast. I really am appreciating this. I think, again, I might do, maybe I'll do a whole tier of this lighter purple, and then the inner ring, the darker purple, and then the background, flounder blue. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to do, like I said, the shells peach. I really wish that there's 2 stars down here and 2 shells up top. I wish that it was 1 and 1 instead, like opposite corners. I think that would have made more sense. But since they're the same, like I want to color them the same colors, if we're following what I'm trying to say here. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do the darker purple. I'm going to do the light blue, which I think is true blue. Where's my Post-it? Yeah, a true blue. And then I'm going to do the dark peach. No, just regular old peach. So, we'll do these 2 top ones and then zoom to the bottom ones. So, yeah, I really like Moana and Maui. And it's just a very nice story. And I love the grandma. I'm so sorry, guys. Another sip of water, I'm telling you. I don't know how you guys do it where you do these really long videos. My throat can't handle it. I think I might be able to handle like live because there's more pausing. But, whew. Okay, number 6 is The Princess and the Frog. I've said it before, I really love that movie. It's really special to me because that was Samuel and my first date. And that's another one that if you have not seen that, please put that on your list. Like, pause this video, watch it right now, and then come back. Not really, but watch it later tonight, please. It is a good one. And it has a lot of really fun jazz music in it because it takes place in New Orleans. And it's so sweet. I did some crying in that one too. Also though, Dr. Facilier, the Shadow Man, is terrifying. His villain song is actually scary, and I cannot imagine like being a child and having seen that, I think I would have been traumatized. Not traumatized, but I would have been dramatic about it. It was a pretty scary scene. But, I mean, as an adult, that's what I'm looking for in a villain. So, I really like that one. Yeah. Then after that is number 5, which is our highest ranking Pixar movie, which, if you watched the last one, is my boy WALL-E. So, he made it all the way to the top 5. This is where things are getting crazy, because I'm surprising even myself with my favorites up here. Making this list was very difficult for me, like I keep saying. But it's true. I can't reiterate enough how adorable and important I think WALL-E is. And it's just so sweet and such a good time. So, I've introduced many a people to WALL-E. And I've gotten many a backlash from people that are like, he doesn't even talk. There's no talking for so much of this. I don't care, okay? It's a great movie anyway. Oh. I have to say, Samuel is not here right now, so I can say this story and laugh, and we'll see what happens. But I was talking about my favorite characters in the last episode, and I was talking about how, like, most of these barely talk and are just, like, really cute, fat little guys. And Sam's like, you do realize you were describing me when you said that. And I laughed so hard. And I was like, oh, you're like a cute little fat guy that doesn't talk a lot. And he's like, yes. It's like, okay. Ah, it was so funny. So I just had to bring that up again when I was thinking about how WALL-E doesn't really talk very much. That had me laughing. Apparently still has me laughing. Top 4. All right. We've reached the movie that is not officially a Walt Disney Animated Studios picture or a Pixar movie. I think this was like, I don't remember the little offshoots, but this was probably direct to VHS. And I had it on VHS, and I was obsessed with the VHS. This is another one that had like a different little short in the beginning that was amazing, and I loved it so much. It was actually a music video. I don't know if anyone is getting the hint. Let's see, I'll give you one more chance. This features one of my top favorite characters that doesn't have movies normally. It's a Goofy movie. I love the Goofy movie. Every song from the Goofy movie is a 10 out of 10. Powerline, yes please. I love it so much. I cannot describe it. And again, the VHS had a really awesome song in the beginning that I keep forgetting, and every few years I remember and I look it up on YouTube. But it's like, I don't know how to explain the song. If I find it, I'll try to link it down below. But it's so good, guys. It is so good. Definitely watch that. The sequel is not as good. I don't even know if I've definitely seen it at least once, but it has been a long time for that. And it's like Max in college. But I love a Goofy movie so much. So many good songs. I actually have the Powerline Funko Pop. Does anyone else collect Funko Pops? I collected them a bunch for a while. I was just like, get every Disney character. But then I stopped because they just started coming out with literally every Disney character. So now I don't get them as often. But I probably have like 30 or 40 of them, including Powerline. And I think Powerline was my most recent Disney purchase, because I needed one from my 3rd favorite movie, of course. 4th favorite movie. Holy cannoli. So, that is another one that if you have not seen, please watch that as soon as you can. It's so good. I love Goofy so much. He deserved that movie. I'm so happy. But, yes. We've made it to the top 3. We're at 45 minutes, so this is pretty awesome. And 2 of the top 3 I'm going to go through pretty fast because we've talked about them a lot. And you can probably guess what they are again. I don't know if anyone is trying to guess as we go, but number 3 is The Little Mermaid. So there we go for that. If you had asked me basically any time in the past 20 years, Little Mermaid would have been number 1. But unfortunately, she's kind of slipping a little bit. Not too much, because nostalgia, she'll always hold a very high place in my heart and in my ranking. Like, this may be the lowest she goes, but for now, she is all the way back down at number 3. Some people on my princess video were saying that she's also whiny and kind of like Merida, but I just need to point out to everyone that she did not turn her father into a bear. And even when he got turned into like that little seaweed at the end, that wasn't her fault directly. She just tried to change herself. So, best decision? No. But hurting others? Not directly. Okay? So, don't come for Ariel. Thank you. But, yeah. Movie number 3. Love it. Amazing music. Amazing nostalgia. Amazing time. Movie number 2 is Tangled. So my favorite princess movie, movie number 2. Tangled is just really well done. Again, I love all the other stuff that's come out of Tangled, the other shorts, the TV show. I love Rapunzel's colors, which seems to be important to me. Purple and yellow are my 2 absolute favorite colors. I love that she is an artist and that she paints, and she's so happy and positive even when times are rough for her. Let's zoom down and do these bottom ones, and then we're done, guys. I can't believe it. I just really love everything about Rapunzel and her movie. Flynn is a fun time. Eugene, whichever you want to call him. Mother Gothel, I really love Mother Knows Best. I enjoy that song a lot. Obviously Pascal I enjoy a lot. She has both of her parents, which is pretty unique for a princess. The princesses are, I don't know, who has all their parents? This is, again, always a big deal for me, only having one parent, that it hurts me extra when they lose parents, especially in film. But, just saying, she only has one. Tiana has one. Mulan has both. Pocahontas has one, I think. Does Pocahontas have a mama? Rapunzel ends up with both. She kind of has 3. It's a weird side street to go down, but there we are. Obviously, Anna and Elsa have none. I don't remember who I'm forgetting. I guess Sleeping Beauty, Aurora has both. Snow White has neither. Cinderella has neither. It's rough. It's a rough time being a princess or earning your princess spot. So, Rapunzel is one of the actual, from the beginning princesses, which so is Ariel, but not all of them are. So, I'm going to take another speaking break, another sip of water. While we build up the suspense for number 1. I don't think anyone can guess number 1 because there's no princess in number 1, so I didn't talk about it in that video. And I don't think I talked about any of the characters. So that's interesting. If I had talked about my favorite villains, the villain would have been part of it. And if I talked about my favorite songs, a bunch of those would have been part of it. And I'm sure if I like extended my favorite characters by 5 or 10, we would have gotten a lot of these people. But any guesses? No? All right, my favorite Disney movie currently of all time is none other than Hercules. That's right. I bet that's a shocker. It shocked me when I was thinking about it. I think Hercules is so great. Music-wise, it definitely ranks way up there. I love so many of the songs. I do love all the characters. My boy Hades is who I was referring to. He's going to be pretty high on my villains list when we get down to it. It's just so fun. I love when there are references to other things. So like all of the Greek references, I enjoy a lot. It's just so good. Oh, and that movie has a lot of fun, like, current day references, or I guess current to the 90s, but like Air Hercs, I think he made, which are like the Nike shoes or the Air Jordans, I guess, and just like the sippy cups, and I just love all that kind of stuff. And be like, ooh, remember when every girl was called Brittany and the boys were all Jason, and like things like that. That's obviously not from Hercules time, but was from the 90s. So I love it. That's one of the movies that I can recite word for word while I am watching. I would say probably my top 4. I could recite all of them word for word. I mean, I can recite a lot of these. I watch these a lot. Or I definitely, like WALL-E, I used to put on every night to go to sleep after I went through my Fantasia phase, because at the time, like, I had a WALL-E DVD and not a Fantasia DVD or something. I don't know. Whatever reason, I switched to WALL-E for a really long time. Or maybe it was when it was on Netflix. Winnie the Pooh, I can basically just watch that movie on repeat. Goofy movie has just stuck with me. Even if I take a while off of watching it, I just remember all the words to that one. And Hercules, I remember like all of the words to Hercules for all time. So we have done it, guys. We are 2 blended little bits away from finishing this massive page. We finished our list. I would love for you to let me know, like, are you surprised that this is my favorite? Let me know what your favorite is. What was missing from my list? I know a lot of people like a movie that I really don't like. So guess what that one is. I've talked about it with a few people already, but let me know what your favorite is, please. And let me know if you enjoyed these videos. Maybe not a 4-parter. I understand that this was a whole lot. But if you want, I can do some more Disney ranking in a month or 2. Again, I want to do the villains. I could always do Disney songs. Or if anyone else has more specific lists that they want, let me know. We've done it, guys. Woohoo! Look at how beautiful. Okay, let's see if I can slow scroll and get as much as possible in there. I think I'm going to cut off really both ends. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. And less than an hour. So that's pretty awesome. I really thought it was going to take longer. I think I thought the purple was going to take longer, but the blue is definitely the biggest portion of the page. I'm so happy we finished. I really hope you enjoyed this series. If you made it to the end, please say starfish. Why not? I don't think I had you say that yesterday. I mentioned this before, but sometimes I forget what I asked you to say, especially when I like film a bunch at once, and then everyone will be commenting the same things, and I'll be like, what's going on here? But usually I figure it out, so that's pretty funny. So here we are. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment and thumbs up, bell notification, all the fun stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I'm super proud that we did it. So I'm going to upload this right now and get it all ready for you. And I will see you guys in 2 days with my finished pages for the month. So look forward to that. Thank you for watching. Bye!